What's up YouTube, this is Dragon and this is another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. So let's get to the battle at hand. Now I have a very particular Pokemon that I wanted to choose, and that is the Ferrothorn, because I see the fairy and grass type, you know, the one with the prankster ability, just chilling right there on the middle on the left. So I don't want to have to deal with that in a way that would just make me completely die. So I'm going to start off with my Conkeldurr, and he starts off with the Charizard. So that's good. I'll be able to definitely take any attacks that this Charizard can do. And on top of that, I can just go for the Stone Edge from here. So let's see. Who do I have on my other team? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Stone Edge will definitely do a lot of damage to this Charizard. So will my opponent switch or will my opponent stay? That's the question of the day. Okay, my opponent withdraws, and let's see, is it going to be into the Ghost? No, it's that Pokemon. Okay, this is why I chose Ferrothorn on this team, because, and was that an air balloon that I saw? Air balloon popped. Wow, I didn't see that coming at all. So with that, I'm going to go to my Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn completely counters this Pokemon. It can't be, it can't be elite seeded or anything like that. So, and the Moonblast is not going to do anything because Ferrothorn is a beast. So, yeah, that's the best possible thing I can do. Okay, now, what do I expect my opponent to do? I expect my opponent to probably, let's see, if I go for Stealth Rocks, will that really do any good for me? You know what? Since my opponent can't really do anything, I'm going to go for the Elite Seed, in case he decides to switch into his Charizard. Yeah. Okay, good. So he withdrew and he went back most likely to his Charizard, and there it is. Okay, there it is. Instead of me laying out the Stealth Rocks, there was no real benefit for me doing that, yeah. So now I have my opponent Elite Seeded, and on top of that, let's see. This Ferrothorn, my opponent might have the Encore, which is a thing. If my opponent does have the Encore, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to go switch into my Salamence to Intimidate. And then on top of that, I'll also be faster because I have, well, we'll have a speed tie because I'll be 328 speed. So, yeah. Even if you go straight for Fire Blast, it won't do that much damage. And on top of that, I'll be getting some health back because of the Elite Seed. So, this is the best thing I can possibly do. So, I'm going to go for Salamence, and I just hope my opponent doesn't have the Encore. Because if he doesn't have the Encore, then I pretty much won immediately from this point. And it's the Charizard X. So, So, it's going to be like a Flare Blitz. Okay. And, my opponent goes for the Dragon Dance. Alright. So, that's a bit disconcerting, because he can just go straight for the Dragon Claw immediately. But you know what? Now that I know my opponent can go for the Dragon Claw, I'm going to play a little game. Okay? I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn, because I know my opponent is fearing me to attack from this point. So, I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn, and I'll be able to live one Flare Blitz from this Pokemon. Well, actually, probably not. But the Flare Blitz will do tons of damage to him, and it will force him to either, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but he's going to take a lot of damage if he attacks me directly. So, oh, he goes for the Outrage. So, yes, he didn't go for the Dragon Claw, he went for the Outrage. That wasn't really smart because I have a Ferrothorn on my team, and he's going to take a ton of damage. A ridiculous amount of damage. Insane amounts of damage. Not only that, he's even getting Elite Seeded. Like, do I even have to bother? Yeah, I don't think I really even have to bother attacking it. So I'm just going to lay out a free layer of Stealth Rocks right here. And he goes for the Outrage again. Definitely. And that's going to not really do much to my Ferrothorn. Okay, so now from here, the Iron Barbs and the Rocky Helmet doing tons of damage to him, and he gets confused, but it's already too late because now I can just lay out the rocks, and then I get the health back from the Elite Seed. So the Elite Seed initially was the best play, and I'm glad that I did that. I'm very happy that I did. Very happy. Okay, so now that I have the rocks up, if he switches into the grass type, then I know for sure that, okay, so it's the Lucario. So let's see, it's the Lucario. Huh. That's right, he already Mega Evolved, so I'm not worried about the adaptability. So, yeah, that's not really a thing. But you know what? I don't necessarily want to play that game. So what I'm going to immediately switch it to my Conkeldurr in case he decides to go for the Swords Dance, because it wouldn't make any sense staying in and then he goes to Swords Dance and then I can't do anything. Okay, close combat. So now even if my, there we go, that's cool. Even if my Conkeldurr dies, well, I'm gonna have to Mop Punch. Even if my right, even if my Conkeldurr dies, I can still Dragon Dance. But you know what? I don't really have to Dragon Dance. That wouldn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna go for the Mop Punch. And I also have the Ferrothorn, so that's the thing. Alright, the Mop Punch should kill. Yep, crits. That's a crit. And then again, Lucarios do have very low defense, so I kind of think that crit didn't necessarily matter. Because it is a Conkeldurr, folks. It is a Conkeldurr. Okay, so now from here, I'm just going to go into my Ferrothorn and don't want to deal with any shenanigans, so I'm just going to go Gyro Ball it and call it a day. And this Ferrothorn should be... Man, what is the name of this Pokemon? It's like, I've seen it so many times. What is this Pokemon called? I can't remember. I don't know why. Let's see. It has Prankster and alright. So I'm gonna go for the Gyro Ball and Safeguard. Okay, didn't really expect that. I guess it, you know, makes itself immune to like, I don't know, Toxic or something, which is, I guess, kind of good given that Pokemon's general moveset. And that's pretty much it right there. So yeah, that was a pretty good game. Pretty good in regards to my Pokemon selection and how I predicted a couple of the moves and how I predicted what my opponent was going to do. So I feel pretty good about that battle. Yeah, went quite nicely. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed these battles, and as you know, I will see you in the next video. Well, see you later.